So the world of blades can be pretty confusing, and if you're anybody like me, a lot of the times when you're looking at a blade, you want something that will have multiple uses to it. So I wanted to talk about this particular blade right here. I got this online. This is a Cold Steel SRK-C, and there are a lot of different SRK variants. So if you go to the Cold Steel website, you can look and see which particular ones might benefit you the most. There are some that are a little bit more expensive, some that are more budget oriented. This one lists on their website for $53.99. This one is definitely more on the budget side. It's not a very expensive blade, but it is a very good blade. And I'll go over a few things real quick. The specifications, I'll just read that off real quick, and this direct from their site. It's 5.1 ounces. For weight, the blade thickness is 4 millimeters. Blade length is 5 inches. The steel is SK5 with what they call their Black Tough EX finish. The handle length of material is 4.5 inches and what they call Cray-X material. It's basically a rubberized material. The overall length is 9.5 inches. The sheath is a Secure-X sheath right here that you see on many other Cold Steel products. Here's a Cold Steel Tonto that has the same type of sheath. And this knife, again, is going to be a jack of all trades, master of none, in my opinion. It's a Taiwanese product. The knife is very basic in design. Let me show you the sheath here. It's a basic sheath, good retention, has a nylon strap, nylon belt for various sizes of belts, which is good. Does have provisions that you can use to put this on some type of molly setup if you so choose. So that's not a bad deal right there. And it is adjustable a little bit as well. The knife itself, very basic blade setup. It's very sharp. And this blade right here, I look at this blade and I can tell that, yeah, it probably would be easy to chip if you're going to use this to pry or you're going to use it to chop. So beware of that. The back of the blade has some good angles on it, so I think you'd be able to use it for striking ferrocerium rods or whatnot if you're looking to make fires in that way. The guard right here, it's part of the hilt and it's just a rubberized material, so it's not a solid metal guard or whatnot there. That doesn't bother me so much, but I wanted to point that out just because some people that might be an issue. The material of the handle here, it's a rubberized material and it's decent. I think with wet hands or whatnot, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. It does have a provision here, so if you want to throw a lanyard on it, you can do that. My hands are pretty large, and the handle seems to fit my hands pretty decently. Again, this is just a basic blade, and just for size, I'll throw out my large Cold Steel Tonto here, just so that way you kind of get an idea of size. This is a larger blade. And then here's that shorter SRK. So some people have had some bad reviews on the SRK, and there's a lot of good reviews out there. I think if you're going to use this in a survival pack roll, it's not a bad choice, but I would throw in some sort of other blade or some sort of other tool for batoning or cutting down small branches and trees if you're looking to make firewood, all that good stuff, because this will work, but I do think you may chip it over time. This blade just doesn't seem like it's very, very sharp, which is great for self-defense uses and for basic work, but I think for anything harder like batoning and whatnot that I've already mentioned, I think you're going to end up chipping the blade. And I probably wouldn't recommend prying with this knife, and that's with most knives. I don't like the idea of prying. I'd rather have something a little bit thicker if I'm going to use anything for that particular roll. So overall, for around 50 bucks, you can find them for less. And again, there are different variants of the SRK. If you look, there's some expensive ones that are about 150 bucks, and then there's just some different variants. This is the compact, so it's really inexpensive and it's really lightweight and small. I do have some bigger blades. I just wanted something that's a little bit more simpler. So I do recommend it if you're looking for something simple, especially if you want a good blade to throw in a tackle box or, you know, in your hunting rig or whatnot. that might be a good deal. Gift idea, all that good stuff. I like Cold Steel products. They seem to make some pretty decent stuff. I haven't run across anything bad yet. They have a pretty big lineup, and I kind of keep it pretty simple, so I don't know if I ever will run into anything more exotic from their company, but for these knives right here, these basic knives, I really do like it. One thing to note on this, before I stop the video, is the balance point of the blade. Balance point of the blade is going to be right at just underneath the guard. You can see right there, kind of the best as I can do with my big old meaty fingers. But the balance point is right in there, which is pretty good. I like that. It's not heavy up front. It doesn't feel weird in the hands. It's very nice and balanced, very lightweight. That is a definite plus. So be sure to check them out if you're looking for just a basic blade. You're not looking to get too fancy or too high priced, then feel free to look them up and check them out. All right, feel free to put your comments as always. Let me know what you think of these. These are pretty common. From what I understand, there's a claim, I don't know if it's the SRK or the SRK-C, supposedly they're issued out to the folks that go through buds training. Feel free to speak to that, if it's this particular model or if it's a different model. I like to think it's probably the more expensive model that they have in the SRK series, but the design, that's kind of one of the selling points apparently that it's handed out to those folks. So if it is, that's a good selling point. But feel free, comment section, good, bad, indifferent, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, you know the spiel. And above all else, stay safe out there.